1,000 people here at Flemington. They're making a lot of noise and creating a whole lot of excitement, which is great for the atmosphere here, but as Dr. Turf said, not so great for the horses. There's Mill Street. Paddy Payne is on the horse at the moment. Just look how fired up he is, and there's a good reason for that. He was really excited when he was leaving the mounting yard today on his way to the post. And Mill Street, who's the second of the Godolphins, and Mamul looked to be pretty good on his way down. But have a look at Mill Street a few moments ago. Here he is, Paddy Payne, on his way down, and the horse is really flighty right now.
That's right, Bruce. There's quite a long walk for the horses and jockeys once they leave the mounting yard to get onto the track. We see it there. It's quite a long, that would be at least 100 yards, and well, he got very, very fired up, that horse, and threw Paddy off, and Paddy elected then just to walk next to the horse until they got out into the track.
Well, the Godolphin stable managers with Peter Donegan now.
And Christopher, we just heard that Mill Street was a little agitated going out. Is that usual for him?
He can get a little bit edgy. You know, we had a situation at Nadal Sheba where he got a little bit toey in the paddock before, but we did warn Paddy Payne about that, and I see he's taken his feet out of the irons and got the horse well under control.
You'll just about have to go forward on him.
Yeah, I mean, he's drawn 23, which means we're committed to trying to get a good early position up with the leaders. His natural style of racing is from the front. He's not here as a pacemaker. He's done extremely well since he's been here, and hopefully if he can hold the position, he can run a very good race.
Mamul has been the subject of a huge betting plunge. He's not a big horse, but he's a wonderfully put-together individual.
Yes, I mean, he's a fabulous-looking colt. He has all the credentials. Obviously, we're coming here off the back of two great successes in Germany in Group 1 races, and we very much hope he's good enough. I mean, the handicapper gave him what we thought was a fair weight, and in the and let's hope he can put it all together on the big day.
Give the slip went close, Beekeeper went close. In a word, can this be the one?
Well, we think he'll go close anyway.
Simon Crisford, the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, Godolphin's won over 100 Group 1 races in numerous countries. It's in the double figures, and they would be so thrilled if this huge experiment, expensive experiment, can pay off for them today. As they go to the post here, you're seeing the tote dividends. I just wonder, Pat, is the money still coming from him, or will he be the first Godolphin horse to run favourite in the Tooheys New Melbourne Cup?
Bruce, I don't think there's going to be any doubt about that. Mamul will start favourite, and yes, as I speak and turn to the boards and look at my own, there has been more money for Mamul. The other one that I can tip you at a little bit of odds is Grey Song. It has firmed up a point. Now, given the weight of money for Mamul, as I said earlier, there hasn't been many of these runners firm, but Grey Song certainly has. And as I speak as well, a little bit of late money for Bart Cummings as he heads for 12 with Frightening. In about a half a point Frightening, but Grey Song has been very solid in betting, but really I would have to say that this plunge on Mamul has been nothing short of spectacular in 2.5 points since we arrived at track.
Well, international horses came here for the first time in 1993, and Drum Taps and Vintage Crop won the race, but Drum Taps that day was the subject of a mighty plunge, and it continues, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and I still really can't understand it because, you know, we're Australians here, and none of us have seen this horse. This is the first time, I guess, most of us have actually seen him in the flesh, and nevertheless, he's been a huge go, and I suppose the European form we consider very strong, and I guess their stayers are better stayers than ours, but our conditions are so different. Our races are so tight and tough and fast run, and it's very, very difficult for these horses to adapt.
And the jockey Frankie Dettori, who became a father for the 4th time last week, 4 children under 4, is arguably, as I said, the most famous name in racing. But Frankie has had his detractors in this country. He's won a race at Flemington. He's won a major race on Cox Plate Day with that wonderful mare Spinning Hill. But it's a test for him today. If he can win today, then he'll become the punter's favourite in Australia.
Yeah, I think so. He's desperate to win a cup, and I know he's been saying to Greg Hall for the last 2 or 3 months that this is his best chance of winning the Melbourne Cup on this horse. So, Frankie, today we might see the biggest star jump of all if he happens to win the cup today, Bruce.
So Frightening remains the favourite on the tote in Super Tab at $6.30. Mamul is closed up, but Mamul was about $11 when we got to the track today, and it's into $7.70. Mackay Diva and Grey Song, the other two that are under $10 at $9.10, $9.60, and Pentastic remains rock solid, like the ground he'll run on today at $10.30.
Yes, maybe. The times haven't been lightning fast, so maybe there's still enough given the track for this bloke, because he doesn't like it hard at all. And there's Claire Lindop, the first female jockey to ride in the Melbourne Cup.
Her dad's a lecturer at Deakin. He's just retired, and mum's just retired as a TAFE school teacher. They're going down to live in Tasmania. She was brought up in Warrnambool, has lived in Adelaide for a while. As we check the totes again, Jardine's Lookout at good odds. Marmol into $7.70 here and continuing to shorten. Mummify, the sensational scratching this morning at 7 o'clock. Mill Street, very much the outsider at $33.
Yeah, but big odds there, Bruce, and, you know, his form's not too bad.
Fantastic, as we see Mr. Pruden on screen there with Damien Oliver. What a story that would be. County Tyrone at $42. Chris Lee's training the horse today. Holly Orders at $16. That's the Irish horse that's been the talk of the town. Mr. Pruden at $12.70. Distinctly Secret. Can New Zealand win again at $13?
Again, another bloke whose form leading into the race is impeccable. It's the right credentials for the Melbourne Cup. His Yalumba, Caulfield Cup and McKinnon runs very, very good. Nothing wrong with him. He's got a good hope.
Grey Song, trained by Tommy Hughes, who came so close when Salamander beaten a nose by Hope Perno in 79. Mackay V Diva there, Piace, who's the third of the David Hall. So David Hall has 3. Godolphin has 2, and they're the only trainers now with multiple runners with the scratching of Mummify. Turmeric, the Mummify. Frightening, he still stays solid at 6:30.
You know, as you're saying earlier on, Bruce, that if anybody else's name was next to the horse as the trainer, Frightening would be a 12 or 15 to 1 chance, but he's very, very rock solid on the tote simply because J.B. Cummings is his trainer.
His last winner in those famous Cummings colours was Let's Elope in 1991.
She did the Caulfield Melbourne Cup double, of course, came back and won the Australian Cup in the autumn. She was a super mare.
I mean, we talk a lot about Bart Cummings as the runners are coming into the barrier. Pentastic comes in. But Eddie de Mestre won 5 Melbourne Cups. He won the first 2 with Archer. We're talking 130 years ago. No other trainer has won more than 4, and Bart has won 11 of them and has finished first and second on 5 occasions. He's provided the quinella on 5 occasions.
That is an extraordinary statistic in Australian sport. And we won't be around, Bruce, but I'm tipping that never, ever, ever gets headed.
Well, you're getting good value Marmol on the tote at $7.60, I can tell you. He is much shorter than that in the betting ring, but it seems that Frightening on Super Tab for Bart Cummings will run favourite here in the Tui's new Melbourne Cup. They're loading up. At the moment, he's getting closer. $4.6 million, but much more than that. Your name goes into the record books forever as...
the barrier blanket there going.
Distinctly
Secret there, just to sort of pacify the horse.
He sweated up a bit.
Onto the barriers, yes. Well, it is sort of warm out there, but he's obviously expending a little bit of nervous energy there, Distinctly Secret. Good to see, actually, most of the horses there are quite calm behind the stalls there, Bruce.
Will Holly Orders jump for the young boy? I mean, he refused to gallop at Sandown, but he's got him to the post all right.
Well, there's no way a tractor with 2 blokes on it can go out chasing him to get him to gallop like was required at track work the other morning, Bruce. It's too late for all that. There's Grey Song. Well up in the betting this year, Grey Song, and Jardine's Lookout, the other international galloper there, with Daryl Holland on board. He seems quite relaxed there, just needing a little bit of encouragement to go in, but he's gone in quite nicely.
So they're just about set for the Tui's new Melbourne Cup. Let's join our commentator from Sky Channel, Greg Miles.
Stand by. Holding Orders away. So is Piace, Mill Street, and Zagale. Fantastic stood well on the inside. Yakama's right now. Holy Orders links in. They're about to go. Piace's right. 2 to get set then. Mill Street coming up, has the red cap, Patrick Payne. It's just a little reluctant to come up into the gates, Mill Street. He's become excited by the big crowd. Patrick now getting Mill Street up into the line near the outside.
Thanks, Bud.
And Zagalia will complete the lineup. In she comes. The field is set for the Cup. They're racing immediately. Marmol began okay, so did Jardine's Lookout and County Tyrone. Frightening jump well, so did Pentastic in the early stages, and ain't seen nothing's going across the field with Zagalia from the outside barrier driving towards the front runners as they settle into stride. Turmeric and Mill Street is also joining in up on the outside of these leading bunch of horses. as they've settled into stride. Now let's see, towards the end of the field, Holy Orders went right back there with Piace. They come down the straight the first time, and from barrier 24, Zagalia crossed over and had the lead against the fence in front of Mamool up in second placing. On the outside is Mill Street about to go round at stablemate, and then Frightening tucked in on the rails, followed then by Shapata. County Tyrone on the outside, followed by Farwas. Half a length away to Ain't Seen Nothing, and then came Pentastic, followed by Bulbard. A length and a half Devon on the inside from Turmeric. 2 lengths Maccabi Diva. She's being followed then by Big Pat as they leave the straight, and then Hugs Dancer. She's Archie on the rail, followed by Jardine's Lookout and Yakama. And then came Grey Song, Mr. Prudent, Distinctly Secret. Holy Orders second last, and Piace is last of all. Inside the 2,000 metres, and Mill Street strides out now, and he goes away by 3 lengths. Zagalia, 2.5 lengths away is Mamool third. Frightening fourth on the inside, and then came Shapata fifth. Closely being followed by County Tyrone, a length to Farwas. 3/4 to Ain't Seen Nothing, followed by Pentastic. There's Hugs Dancer, off and running at the 1,700 metres, being followed then at the head of the other horses by Bulbard. And Jardine's Lookout is also taking off mid-race. They're followed by Devon and Turmeric, a length and a half further back in the field, Maccabi Diva. And then came Big Pat on the inside, 1.5 further back is Yakama, being followed out towards the 1,400 metres then by She's Archie, and then came Grey Song, a length and a half to Mr. Prudent. He's followed by Distinctly Secret. Holy Orders next to last, and last on the outside, Piace. At the 1,200 metres, and Mill Street made play in the cup. He's out by 4 lengths. Zagalia second, Mamool 2 lengths away third, followed by Frightening. Hugs Dancer's moved up to fifth, the outside from County Tyrone Shapata. Then came Jardine's Lookout, a length to Ain't Seen Nothing, Farwas, and then Bulbard, trailed by Pentastic. 1.5 further back is Turmeric, and then came Devon. Maccabi Diva 15 at least from the leader, trailed by She's Archie, and they were followed then by Mr. Prudent and Grey Song. Well back is Big Pat and Yakama as they came to the turn, and then came Piace. Holy Orders drops out last. They're on the bend at the 600 metres now, and Mill Street the leader. Out after it, Zagalia, Frightening, and Hugs Dancer joins in 4 wide. Just behind them is Mamool as they corner from County Tyrone, and then Jardine's Lookout. Here comes Grey Song down the outside, and Yakama the widest runner. Zagalia at the 300, Frightening with Maccabi Diva going for a run. She's finishing hard, and wider out now, Pentastic is joining in, and She's Archie runs on, but Maccabi Diva shot away. She's out by 2 lengths to She's Archie. Pentastic and Zagalia. Maccabi Diva in front. She's Archie tries hard, but Maccabi Diva wins the cup. She's Archie second. Photo third, either Pentastic or Jardine's Lookout, with close up on the inside Zagalia, and they were trailed further back by Distinctly Secret and Grey Song from Yakama, Mr. Prudent, and then Hugs Dancer. Further back is Frightening, and then came Big Pat, County Tyrone, Holy Orders, Ain't Seen Nothing, Devon. For was Piace, Turmeric. Well back is Bulbard, followed further back by Shapata, and Mill Street is second last. Mamool has finished last in the cup. Maccabi Diva has won the Melbourne Cup. Stand by for judges' official placings. Maccabi Diva becomes the 14th mare in history to win the Melbourne Cup. She gives Glenn Boss his first. He came so agonisingly close on Champagne in 1998, but he's won the Cup today for Flemington trainer David Hall. Number 12, Maccabi Diva, with a beautifully well-timed run. Second has gone to 17. She's Archie, written by Scott Seamer. And third, number 1, Jardine's Lookout has grabbed third, written by Daryl Holland in the photo finish, just in advance of Pentastic in 4th place.
What a training performance by David Hall, who's with Peter Donegan.
David Hall, the crowning moment has just happened. A great horse, a great preparation, a brilliant result.
I don't know what's... Oh, jeez. It's an unbelievable feel. Just can't get the words out. I'm sorry.
It's been 12 months in the making too. You've owned her at this race all along from probably Queen Elizabeth Stakes Day last year.
That's right, and that's you've done that for everything. 12 months playing with horses. Just no pressure from the owner. Just do what you want, you know. Question mark about the autumn prep. Question mark about not running her again. She had 7,000 kilometres under her belt. Everyone questioned that.
said to you earlier in the day, Flemington horses love to run at Flemington. Flemington trainers love to win Flemington races. You've won the biggest of them all.
I'd love to do it again. It's a hell of a feeling, boys. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. But Tony, what a great supporter he's been, and for him to pull it off today.
And what a story too for the man in the saddle, Glenn Boss, who was almost paralysed in a race fall. Why don't you listen to what he has to say, as the rest of Australia does? Here is the winning rider with John Letts, Glenn Boss.
Okay, Glenn, what about that? Makybe Diva so close on champagne, and today there'll be plenty of champagne tonight.
Oh, mate, that's all forgotten now, I tell you.
What about
on you, Haulia? I can love you, mate.
What a great day. Your history now, Glenn. You've won the Derby for David Hall.
Yeah.
Also won the Melbourne Cup for him. But what about, I remember talking to you after the Melbourne Cup when you ran second on champagne. You said it's the worst couple of weeks I had after it because I thought, what did I do wrong today? You can sleep well tonight.
Mate, I never slept for a week after Melbourne Cup. But that, yeah, and I reckon I won't sleep for 2 after this bastard, I tell you.
Hey, Glenn, what about, you've won some big races, but what about this one?
Oh, mate, this is very special for me because David Hall, I mean, God, I can't give that bloke enough credit. And I lost a race here on Royal Coat for Tony a couple of years ago. And I dropped my stick on the horse. I probably should have won the race. And he stuck solid, you know. I've got to thank him very much.
Glenn, what about, take us through the race from your gate.
Mate, I got one off the fence. I just had the perfect run, mate. It was like I was in the zone, you know. It was just all happening for me. And I just got the best run through. I rode it like what you would have, Lettsy, I'm telling you.
Hey, Glenn, what about when you got to the 200 and you hit the front, did you think, now what's this?
Well, I got there so easy and I had such a soft run, and she's so stoutly bred. I knew she'd run it strong, and oh, but that's a long friggin' furlong, isn't it, Lettsy?
Mate, it's the longest furlong in the world. Congratulations. Glenn Boss, ladies and gentlemen, Makybe Diva. What a worthy winner. Good on you,
Over the
buddy.
moon. So we've just seen what winning a Melbourne Cup means to a trainer and a jockey graphically.
Yes, they'll remember that till their dying days, and just a wonderful ride. And Bruce, what a great training performance. I love this. That horse, as I said before the race, she won during the Cup Carnival last year. David Hall would have set her for today 12 months ago, and it has come home to roost at the right time.
Just the perfect ride. And this horse, Makybe Diva, was able to challenge Zagalia at the right time. Grace Song looked a chance, Frightening was weakening. She's Archie was starting to emerge from the ruck, and just here you thought, well, there could be a boil over.
Yeah, she was big odds, she's Archie. She ran a nice race the other day, and from rural Victoria, Darren Weir, the trainer there, that would have been a huge boil over.
Look at Jardine's lookout, taking Pentastic out of third place. Pentastic was fourth, and fifth went to Zagalia, who hung on really well.
On barrier 24, Bruce.
Mares, well, Greg Miles said a 14th mare to have won the Cup. That's in 140 odd years. 5 in the last 15 have won, and they've provided the Quinella today,
Yes,
1 and 2.
And just a fantastic training performance, because David Hall, he's nearly got first and third. Of course, he's trained first and fourth in the Melbourne Cup. Just wonderful stuff.
Glenn was second on Champagne in 98. He's ridden for David Hall in the last 2 Cups, 4th on Karazi 2 years ago, and 5th on Pentastic last year. So today he's up to first. And what about Tony Zantic, the owner here? He's got 9 horses running around Australia today, 2 at Echuca in country Victoria. He tried to back this horse to win $1 million at the call of the card yesterday. He's backed it to win $700,000. He backed it at 50 to 1 earlier in the spring. He bred her himself. He tried to sell her in England. Didn't get more than 5,000 guineas. He brought the horse back to Australia, and this is the end result.
And he's got about 100 of them at home too, Bruce. In Port Lincoln, he's a tuna fisherman by trade. Must be a very good industry, the tuna industry, Bruce, and by Jingo, it's going to be a big night in Port Lincoln.
As Peter Donegan said, Glenn Boss's riding career looked to be over. He had a very serious back neck injury. It looked to be the end of what was a very promising and almost fulfilled career. But unless you win the Tooheys New Melbourne Cup as a jockey, you are never fulfilled in this country. He has completed that today.
He has, Bruce. He's never looked like winning a jockey's premiership, Bruce, but he's won big races all over the country for the last decade, and well, a very cool ride there. I mean, everything did go right. The oceans opened up for him in the straight, but very cool, very patient, drove her through there at about the 200-metre mark, and she has won running away, really.
Probably the other big story is that Godolphin finished second last and last, we believe. Marmool and Mill Street.
Yes, Well, another year, I guess, for them. Mamul seemed to travel OK, but facing the breeze the way he did, that is not easy over 2 miles. And, of course, Mill Street seemed to run his race before the race.
But here's the winner, and he can hardly contain himself here, Glenn Voss. He's an emotional guy, and it's all his dreams have come true. His family's with him here in Melbourne. He loves coming to Melbourne, seeing the sights of the town. He really laps up the whole atmosphere that surrounds this cup with Derby Day and the Oaks and the other lead-up races. Is he going to try a star jump? I'm not
Quite
sure.
possible. People may wonder about the name Makybe Diva. It's made up of the Christian names of the girls that work in the office of Tony Santich, the owner.
We met them earlier today.
He didn't do the star jump.
Well, with a bad back, can you blame him?
No. In the old days, Bruce, you couldn't really touch a jockey until after they'd weighed out, Bruce, but I think after a Melbourne Cup, the stewards are a little bit forgiving.
And once again, Caulfield Cup form holds up pretty well. This horse was a slashing run in the Cup in 4th place. Hasn't started since. And David Hall's father, Joe, a really well-respected trainer back in South Australia. He, like David, I think would have a tear in his eye right now.
That's right, and Greg Hall, of course, a Melbourne Cup winning jockey, a cousin, I think, of David, the trainer. A great racing name, the Hall family in Australia. There's jockey and trainer embracing after the race, and 2 great guys, and well done.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes! You beauty. I've just won the Melbourne Cup. Remember Damien Oliver on Doremus, but that's the feeling here. Is there a better walk in racing?
I wouldn't have thought so, Bruce, and just making sure that no lead's falling out of the saddle as he climbs on board there. And hopefully it'll tally up to about 51 kilos.
52. Thank you.
Bossy.
They won the Derby here with Hit the Roof, this combination, Hall and Voss, in 2000, and this is even bigger and better. Peter Donegan with Glenn Voss.
Glenn Voss, 14 months ago, it would have been enough for you just to ride again. Now you're a Melbourne Cup winner.
Oh, mate, honestly, I said to Letzi, I've won a lot of big races and the feeling's always great, but I'm lost for words. The feeling I've got, it's just, my whole body's just tingling, and now I know what Ollie and them felt, last year, and when he's won cups, and they can't tell you, but until you win one yourself, I tell you what, that last 200 metres is the longest 200 metres I've ever been through.
The ride of your life?
Mate, I give her such a good ride. I'm not rapping myself, but she gave me a great ride throughout the race, and I just stayed towards the fence, and the runs just kept coming. It was just like I was in the zone. I just, everywhere I went, it was happening for me. It was just like it was meant to be, and I've got a lot to thank Tony, the owner, and David for getting this horse such a great prep.
Just finally, do you realise now for the rest of your life, wherever you go in this country, they're going to be pointing at you and saying, that guy rode a Melbourne Cup winner?
I know I'll be pointing at myself tonight. I'll give you the...
Well done, Bossy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, the winners are grinners, and Makybe Diva. And just a note about She's Archie. We did a story on Darren Weir earlier today. He's about to become a dad again. He's been suspended. He's on appeal, and this She's Archie second today. But this is Makybe Diva, who today writes her name into the record books with a stunning win in the Tui's new Melbourne Cup. Coming from the middle of the field, Glenn Voss with an inspired ride. David Hall, one of our top trainers, goes up yet another notch and joins the other trainers who have had their name written on the Cup. What a race. Conclusive, satisfying, fulfilling.
Metres now, and Mill Street the leader. Out after it, Zagalia, frightening, and Hugs Dancer joins in 4 wide. Just behind them is Mamul as they corner from County Tyrone, and then Jardines Lookout. Here comes Grace on down the outside, and Yakama the widest runner. Zagalia at the 300, frightening with Makybe Diva going for a run. She's finishing hard, and wider out now, Fantastic is joining in, and She's Archie runs on, but Makybe Diva shot away. She's out by 2 lengths to She's Archie. Fantastic and Zagalia. Makybe Diva in front. She's Archie tries hard, but Makybe Diva wins the Cup. She's Archie second. Photo third either. Fantastical Jardines Lookout with close up on the inside Zagalia, and they were trailed further back by
Spoken to the jockey and also the trainer, Glenn Voss, and also David Hall after the Cup. What about Tony Santich, the man who bred this horse, who put all the money on at the call of the card yesterday, the tuna fisherman from Port Lincoln. Right now, he's with Neil Kearney.
How good's that, mate? How good's that?
Oh, no, I can't explain how good it is. Jesus.
Ever dream it?
Oh, I've been dreaming it for years. I mean, but to get there, let alone win it, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. I mean,
You've won a few, Bob.
Oh, I'm not worried about the money side. I think what David's done and everyone at David's stables and Glenn Boss, oh, geez, what can I say? Just thanks and we'll have a great day.
And there's his mare, Makybe Diva, who paid $9.10 and $3.70 today. It is correct weight. She's Archie, $13.70. Jardine's Lookout, $11.70. The Quinella, $245.60. The Trifecta, $13,203. The Exacta, $277.90. Mamul was the last horse over the line. The second last horse was Schumpeter and the third last was Mule Street. We'll give you a full rundown pretty shortly on the finishing order of the Tui's new Melbourne Cup.
So all those people who got Mamul in the sweeps around Australia, Bruce thought they're onto a winner. Well, they've collected because he's run last.
Claire Lindop finished 19th on Devon, the first Australian female to ride in the Cup. But it's Glenn Boss's day and David Hall's day and Makybe Diva's day. Boss and Hall proving to be a formidable combination, just as they were in that classic in the Derby 3 years ago with Hit the Roof.
It's just an amazing, the luck you can have in horse races. She just got split, and there we see her getting a split between Zagala, who ran a fantastic race on Friday. Zagala's worked from barrier 24 and still run about 5th. But everywhere, as Bossy said, everywhere he went, the heavens opened up for him, and she's actually charged late, but in fact, first and second careered away from the others. I think there must be at least 3 lengths away to third. Great ride, great mare, and a wonderful training performance.
It's Jardine's Lookout storming home for third, just taking Pentastic out of it. David Hall just missing out on providing 2 of the 3 place getters. Another look. Look at the acceleration here.
Yeah, she's shown this in all of her races. This is the mare, Bruce, that went from a maiden to a Group 2 race 12 months ago in the space of about 6 weeks. And David Hall just put her away, obviously, and said, next November, on the first Tuesday, we're going to be there. And that is just what training these horses to win these big races is all about. Bruce getting it right on the right day. He hasn't cared about winning these lead-up races. He's had today in mind.
She won 6 straight in the spring of last year, including the Werribee Cup and then the Queen Elizabeth Stakes on the final day of this carnival. And very light autumn.
Yeah.
And then just the 4 runs coming into this, the Tui's new Melbourne Cup. What a day, what a race. Let's join Jim Wilson for the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll all agree there is nothing better than this first Tuesday in November. A spectacular backdrop for the Tui's new Melbourne Cup for 2003, and we salute a new champion, Makybe Diva, trained by a trainer who's been knocking on the door for so long, and, well, you can't wipe the smile off his face, and rightly so, David Hall. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the microphone the chairman of the Victoria Racing Club, Mr. Rod Fitzroy, to say a few words.
Their Excellencies, the Governor-General and Mrs Jeffrey, the Governor of Victoria and Mrs Landy, the Honourable Steve Bracks, Premier of Victoria and Mrs Bracks, the Honourable John Pandazopoulos, Minister for Racing and Mrs Pandazopoulos, members of the Diplomatic Corps from around the world, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flemington on Tui's new Melbourne Cup Day and our race that stops the nation. We are indebted to Australians in every state and territory who continue to embrace the traditions and spirit of this day of celebration. I especially want to thank connections of all our international runners this year. Your participation has unquestionably taken our great race to a new level, and we hope to see you all back here at Flemington to challenge for our most treasured national sporting trophy. To the horse Makybe Diva, owner Tony Santic, trainer David Hall.